a cheaper cost of living, there's more opportunity here, the crime rate is lower, so in general, I'm very, very happy to be living here. Hey there guys, what's happening? It's Mike here, and in this video, I'm going to be making some comparisons between expat life in Cambodia versus expat life here in Vietnam. So if you are planning on making the move to either Cambodia or Vietnam, then hopefully this video is going to be giving you some useful ideas about what exactly to expect. Now, the first point that I want to make is I'm a big believer in different strokes for different folks, as they say. Not everybody likes the same things, do they? So I'm going to base this video on my experiences, on my opinions. I've spent time living in Cambodia. I've spent time living in Vietnam on a couple of separate occasions. So obviously, I'm going to base this video on those. But if you feel different, or even if you feel the same, if you agree with me, let me know in the comments, guys. Let me know if you have lived in Cambodia or Vietnam and what your experience has been. And for the sake of ease and simplicity, I'm going to break this video down into 5 different criterias to compare expat life in Vietnam and Cambodia. And the first one, which is obviously really, really important, is the ease of getting a visa for long-term stay. Now, obviously everyone's going to be in different scenarios, aren't they? Everyone's going to have their own different situation. So if you're working in either of the countries, in Cambodia or Vietnam, you won't have a problem, okay? Because your job should provide you a valid visa, a work visa for long-term stay. Now, in Cambodia, there are a variety of different options for long-term stay, which are very, very affordable and easy to get, okay? You've got your 3-month business visa, your 6-month business visa, which aren't particularly expensive. I know you can get a 12-month business visa, don't quote me on this, but for less than $500 for the full year. Now, you can also get a retirement visa over in Cambodia, so it's fairly easy to purchase a long-term visa, and you don't need to show any bank statements and things such as that, any proof of working for a company. If you want to get the business visa, it's literally a case of rocking up to an agent, paying the money, and picking up your passport a few days later. Now, here in Vietnam, it's not quite so simple, as many of you following the channel know. At the time of recording, the longest amount of time that you can stay on a tourist visa is 30 days on the e-visa program. Now, aside from that, there are currently no retirement visas. There's no business visas that you can purchase. You actually have to be genuinely working for a company and get a sponsorship. In Cambodia, the same can't be said. You can just pay the money. So here in Vietnam, the long stay options are more limited, all right? Unless you are getting married, you're working, or you're doing constant visa runs, a long stay visa can be pretty tricky. Now, I made another video about this that dives into your options if you do want to stay in Vietnam for a little bit longer. You can check that out if you want to know about that in more detail. But in general, Cambodia definitely wins for this, the ease of long-term stay. It's a lot simpler to stay in Cambodia. Now, obviously, like I said, if you're working in either country, you won't have a problem. But if you do want to go and do the long-term stay, the work online route, Cambodia is going to be a lot easier to get your long-term visa. So that's the first point, ease of long-term stay. The second point is cost of living. Now, depending on your budget, let's be honest, guys, living in Cambodia or Vietnam is fairly affordable. Okay, it's definitely cheaper than living over in the West, yeah? No matter what country you're from, over in the West, whether that's the UK, Canada, the US, Spain, you're gonna live for a lot cheaper over here in Vietnam or Cambodia. But it's my opinion that the cost of living is cheaper here in Vietnam. You get more bang for your buck here in Vietnam. Now, I did a cost of living video for Cambodia. That's one of my top ranking videos, actually. And I spent about, I think it was $13.50 a month, but I was living fairly well. I was living in a nice apartment. I was eating out. I definitely could have lived for less than that. All right. Here in Vietnam, I think I'm probably spending a little bit less, but in general, it seems to me like things are cheaper. Food seems to be cheaper. Rent seems to be cheaper. Transport seems to be cheaper. In general, you certainly seem to be getting more value for money here in Vietnam. Now, I'm going to make a cost of living video to break it down into more detail, but let me know in the comments, guys, which country do you think has a cheaper cost of living? In my opinion, it's definitely Vietnam, because in Cambodia, I was surprised how expensive certain things were. It's not as cheap as everybody says. So who wins this one, Vietnam or Cambodia, for cost of living? Like I say, I think Vietnam has a cheaper and a more affordable cost of living, all right? Now, cost is one thing, but another important factor is quality of life, isn't it? Now, quality of life obviously is judged by different things, by different people. But if you're a Westerner over here in Southeast Asia, things like the availability of home comforts, that's pretty important. Yeah, to be able to go and get your Western favorites in supermarkets, yeah? Western food availability is important. Now, both places definitely have it. Sure, in Phnom Penh, you could go and get a burger or a pizza, you could go into the foreign supermarkets, etc. But Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City here in Vietnam, has got so much more choice. And the level of luxury here, you can get much nicer things here, yeah? There's much nicer restaurants. The hotels are nicer. The rooftop pools are nicer. There are pools over in Cambodia, but the quality of the pools and the way that they're kept, it wasn't 100%. Over here in Vietnam, if you want to live that luxury life, which I like to do nice things sometimes, I got to admit, I like to go to nice restaurants, nice coffee shops. You can do that over here. It's going to cost you a little bit more, but in general, there's more option over here in Saigon than there is in Phnom Penh. Yeah, if you like nice restaurants, coffee shops, if you like doing nice things, I would say there's more option here in Saigon. Sure, it's available in Phnom Penh, but the quality, in my opinion, is just not there. It doesn't rank as high as Saigon does as far as quality of life. So, quality of life is number 3. The fourth point that I want to talk about is business or job opportunities, yeah, career advancement, if you will. And this one, it's an absolute no-brainer who wins this one. Vietnam 100%. Here in Saigon, it's a very entrepreneurial place. There's a lot of opportunity. I've been offered a variety of jobs since I've been here, which I've turned down actually. But as a British guy over here in Vietnam, there is a lot of opportunity. And the general mindset of the Vietnamese seems to be very entrepreneurial. They like making money. They're always out hustling. Now, over in Cambodia, I didn't feel that same energy in Phnom Penh. Yeah, I didn't feel that same entrepreneurial spirit. I wasn't running into opportunity like I have been over here. Maybe it was the crowd that I was hanging around with, but I would say in general that if you're looking for advancement in your career, here in Saigon is a much better place than Phnom Penh. Now, teaching English is one thing, all right? A lot of people do that. But there are a lot of people here in Vietnam working in the marketing space, in the tech software space. Yeah, there is a lot of developers over here. I met another guy who was working in a hospital over here. Another guy who was working in a firm developing apps. All right. So here in Vietnam, there are a whole variety of different niches, different sectors, business sectors that you can get involved with. It's not just English teaching, which in a lot of Southeast Asian countries, let's be honest, it kind of is, isn't it? So if you are looking for opportunity, if you have got a skill, particularly in the tech niche, Saigon would be a very, very good place to find opportunity, because believe me guys, it's absolutely everywhere. Now I'm going to make another video in a couple of weeks about ways to make money here in Vietnam as a foreigner, so make sure you do watch out for that. And that brings us on to the final point of today, which is the crime rate and how safe you feel. Now, obviously, there's crime everywhere, isn't there? No matter what city you go to, there's going to be crime. There's crime in Vietnam, there's crime in Cambodia, Thailand, the UK, US. You get my point. However, in general, in Cambodia, particularly in Phnom Penh on an evening, you always kind of felt like you were looking over your shoulder, you know what I mean? You always felt that you were having to check your pockets and things like that. I was never mugged. I never had a phone stolen or anything like that. A friend of mine did. Another YouTuber had his phone stolen. But here in Vietnam, I've never really felt sketchy. I've never really felt like I have to, check my pockets and hold my bag. Now, I'm sure there is crime here. Yeah, I've heard of people getting their phones stolen, their wallets stolen. Of course, it happens. But in general, I feel much safer here in Vietnam. It feels like a safer environment. It feels like there's less crime. And as well as a sort of another point, you get hustled a hell of a lot less here in Vietnam, yeah? In Cambodia, you can't walk 5 meters outside your hotel without being asked for a tuk-tuk. Here in Vietnam, I haven't experienced that. Maybe in D1, but certainly in D7, I haven't had a single person try and sell me a suit or a tuk-tuk or try and take me to a gem factory. It just hasn't been an issue. So, in general, guys, I think it's probably obvious from this video that I much prefer life as an expat here in Vietnam. It's just got more to offer. It's got a higher quality of life. There are more amenities. There are more Western goods and Western things available. It's got a cheaper cost of living. There's more opportunity here. The crime rate is lower. So in general, I'm very, very happy to be living here in Saigon. I enjoyed my time in Cambodia, but after a couple of months, I was ready to leave the place. I gotta be honest, guys. So that's it from this video. I hope you've taken some value from it. Do let me know in the comments your thoughts on Vietnam versus Cambodia. And if you'd like to connect with me and other people traveling the world and living over in Southeast Asia, you can join my free Facebook group, Digital Nomad Entrepreneurs. There is a link in the description to this video for you to join today. And next month, we're going to be hosting a very, very special 7-day training event in that Facebook group. So there's a link in the description to this video for you to jump on board today if that interests you. And as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.